Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D, about to react to this vid by O'Shea Duke Jackson. He been keeping us informed, okay, on what's going on in these red pill streets, these right-wing streets, and I've been entertained by it to a certain degree because some of them are very ridiculous. But anywho, let's see what's going on with this vid. It's titled, "The Hodgetwins Are Worse Than We Thought." Damn. The Hodgetwins been getting a lot of heat lately, but they've been saying ridiculous stuff, so that's what happens. But yeah, let's see what's going on with them now. Let's watch.
I'm so happy that the Hodgetwins is getting their just due on YouTube, and everybody is starting to see how they are.
When I dropped my video about the Hodgetwins on August 3rd, 2025, I didn't know it would get so many views, and I didn't know that so many people dislike these guys so much. I just noticed a few discrepancies with some of their arguments, and that was it. I didn't think anything of it, and I didn't think to ever revisit the subject. However, Albert and Preach on September 22nd, 2025 reacted to my video and making their own video called Myron and Hodgetwins Reminded They Aren't White. So I decided to do a little bit of investigating. I said, there has to be something to this. So I started looking on social media for people that had an issue with the Hodgetwins. And boy, was I surprised.
But now all of a sudden, they done became as panderers, where they like to put the black community down. And I feel like that's just some bull when your ass is half black and you walking around here looking like a light skin.
Woo! Now, this was a more of a recent video because the lady basically referenced the fact that other YouTubers are making content about the Hodgetwins. But before my video or Abba and Preach's video, you had people who really understood what was going on.
They were definitely leaning on their blackness because they're half black, half white. They were leaning on their blackness, you know, all this and that and all this, that, and the third, blah, 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 and everybody's cool because, you know, black folk, we accept, you know, people who are partially black. We accept everybody, right? Especially who are part black and part whatever the fuck else, until you give folks a reason to not do that.
Now, this is a very, very keen observation. He said when he was watching the Hodgetwins when they were blowing up, he realized that the Hodgetwins were leaning onto their black side. Now, you know they are half black and half white. And so what you saw is the Hodgetwins making comedy using the N-word a lot, going back and forth. But then he noticed a change.
What I've noticed that they do is that they put down what they used to like lean on to now give an uprise to like their political beliefs. You see what I'm saying?
So the Hodgetwins built their career basically leaning onto their black side. Now they criticize everything to do with the black side. But they built their brand on that. They built their brand on black buffoonery, quote unquote, let them tell it. Now you criticize what made you successful.
Damn.
But this sister said it the best.
You have two black men, avid pro-Trump supporters, who stereotype the black audience, go all the way down their page. They speak about white people with respect, even if they're reporting on a crime. When they speak about black people, there's no respect, there's no nothing. It's miss this, sir this, ma'am this, when they speak about a white person who's committed a crime, or they're speaking about something that's, you know, going on in a white community. But when it comes to black people or brown people, any person of color, it's criminal and, you know, just all kind of stereotypical terms that paints people of color in a negative light.
Now, she talked about the Hodgetwins timeline, and I talked about that in my particular video. And obviously they're active on X, so it's really easy to see it there. But let's see if her point is true. This is not so long ago. Now imagine if a mob of white conservatives chased two black dudes off campus. Then on their YouTube, Chicago residents pissed after streetwalkers take over Chicago neighborhoods. And of course, this is a black neighborhood, so you can imply that. Here we have, very specifically, black people always need to make everything about race.
And it's so interesting how they speak about black people like as if, oh, we're not black at all. We have nothing to do with you. That's you black people over there. That is so telling. Like they don't view themselves as black at all. even though they're half black. This is what people are saying. I don't know their fucking background. But if they are half black, it's like they completely disregard that half of themselves, which is so sad.
Another day, another woman getting punched by a black dude. These guys.
And people who are saying, "Oh, they're joking. This is just humor." Da da. What about this is funny? I don't see no LOLs. I don't see anything that's actually funny. Where's the comedic aspect of this at all? This is just you wanting to shit on a race. So you trying to act like, oh, it's not that serious. They're just joking. They're funny. Where's the humor? Where's the joke?
Another woman getting punched by a black dude.
This is just
these guys want to make it seem like every day women are just getting punched by black dudes. In particular, white women. All right? How many white women every day get punched by black dudes? I'll wait. And the answer is not that many. But hey, we all gotta make money. Of course, these are their biases. And I actually called them out on my video for being pretty much sellouts. And so when they're reacting to my video, talking about the Hodgetwins here, here's their reply to me.
We've been a Republican for years. Yeah, just because I have different opinions don't mean I sold out.
Yeah.
A sellout is a person who says something for money.
Yeah.
I'm saying things because that's my opinion.
Yeah.
That's how we see the world.
Yeah,
I've monetized my opinion, but it's not.
You can still be a sellout if you believe those things. You're selling out as a person of black descent. Okay, I don't want to call you a black person at this point. We don't want to claim you. All right. You're selling out because you're selling out your race. You're basically saying, yeah, come on, white people, let's rally up, let's shit on them. Fuck y'all, yeah. So you sold out in that term. So that's literally what you're doing. Whether you actually believe that or not is irrelevant. You're still a sellout.
I'm a capitalist.
Yeah. Now here they're saying that they really feel this way. They're Republicans. And they monetize their opinions because they're capitalists. Now, let me just say this. The Hodgetwins are definitely capitalists. I have never seen YouTubers grift and just go from one thing to another quicker than the Hodgetwins. I mean, wherever the money is going to go is where they're at. I mean, they didn't have too much investment in their main channel. They didn't put any thought into this channel. And that's something about the Hodgetwins. These guys are not that bright.
Got it!
I mean, despite how they articulate themselves, I'm not even talking about how they sound because their articulation leaves a lot to be desired.
Got it!
Let's compare them to somebody like Abba and Preach. Abba and Preach, and particularly Abba, even Preach, they're both very good. They're the best. They give really good depth and analysis to their positions. And their positions are not always popular. You cannot always guess what Abba and Preach are going to come up with. They don't mind challenging their audience in the comments. They don't mind making videos that people disagree with. They are free thinkers and they cannot be bought. That is the beauty of Abba and Preach. Okay? They put thought into what they're saying. They have great dialogues. When you listen to the Hodgetwins, there's not much dialogue at all or thought into whatever they're saying. And that's why they don't really get a whole lot of views per video in relation to their audience size. Now, if you look at somebody like Candace Owens gets a lot of views for her size. Well, Candace Owens is, I'm not going to say she's the brightest person in the world all the time, but she's definitely smarter than them. And that's the difference between the Hodgetwins and Candace Owens. Candace Owens can at least come up with something original that she can claim in her arguments. The Hodgetwins just regurgitate whatever they feel that white people want to hear or conservatives want to hear. And to be honest, that's why their channel doesn't do so well for the kind of size that they have.
He's right, you know.
And let me give you an example of
when I looked them up, they were doing really well.
Ideology here, okay? Let's go to the whole Nashville, Tennessee state.
I know he's saying in relation to their subscribers, but people who have had a YouTube channel for a long time, like their view to subscriber ratio isn't gonna be the greatest because a lot of people subscribe to them way back in the day. Like, so newer channels have the privilege, and when I say newer, like, I feel like channels made within, I don't know, like the past 5 years or something like that, they have the privilege of having like more fresh subscribers. But anything past that, like, you might have subscribers who subscribed literally like 7, 8 years ago, 10, even in the case of the Hodgetwins, they've been on YouTube for a really long time, and they don't actually watch, or they just abandon their channel or whatever the case. But when I looked them up, they were getting hundreds of thousands of views per video. So I think they're doing pretty well, because there are a lot of racist people out there who like hearing what they have to say.
Interview where these white guys came up to the school. Of course, they came up to the school without letting the school know. They kind of did a pop-up shop, brought their own speaker, and set up a table. And again, this is against school policies. They wouldn't go to Harvard to do that or go to Yale. You have to have permission to go onto college campuses anywhere around the world. You just can't pull up and start having debates. But listen to the argument, or the debate rather, they're having with this young man.
Do you think that there's any law that allows me to do something that you can't do, for example?
I don't think there's any laws that say that you can do something that I can't. But then again...
Okay, I didn't know they were actually talking to them. I just thought they ran them off the campus. I didn't know people were actually stopping to talk to them. I wouldn't even waste my fucking breath. They're clearly there just to antagonize you guys.
This system can't be ignored. Like, we can't just say it does not exist, because there are countless examples of it existing.
So the young man, they're asking him, what do you think is in law that you can't do as a black person? And the young man responds. He says, listen, well, there's no law, but definitely we live in systemic oppressions in this time.
There are obstacles
and
placed.
it's just there. Now, the young man may not be able to articulate all that he's saying, but there is some truth to it. But now, how do the Hodgetwins interpret it?
This is why 96% of blacks vote for Democrats. We had a black president 2 terms, won the Electoral College and the popular vote. Yeah. For black people to still think that this country is systemically racist is just, you're not using your brain. Yeah, I don't know what this is.
The irony.
What do you think it is? That dude's got like a mental block somewhere.
So they started insulting the guy, calling him, in so many words, dumb, and black people are this and that. And they continue.
Well, bias, it prevents him from using his brain. He's black. He grows up around black people. Everything he watches is black. He's living inside of a bubble.
You see the disparaging commentary that they're giving towards the young man. Not even those Charlie Kirk or MAGA supporters, the white guys, had even got that low. All right? He mentions that Barack Obama became the president and there was no racism going on in America. Well, let's see here, buddy.
Such an idiotic
Barack Obama was the president from January 2009 to January 2017. What did we see during those years? I'll just give you a few. 2009, Oscar Grant, Oakland, California, got shot while he was completely subdued, okay? The BART officer, Johannes Mercerly, was convicted of involuntary manslaughter. Then you have, in 2010, Ayanna Stanley Jones of Detroit, Michigan, 7-year-old killed during a Detroit police raid, February 26, 2012. Trayvon Martin killed by George Zimmerman. He was acquitted, but this case became a flashpoint for racial profiling, all right? Then we have, in that same year, Rekia Boyd in Chicago. Then we have Jordan Davis, okay, in 2012. Then 2013, Jonathan Farrell. 2013 again, Renisha McBride. Then 2014 is where it really got hot. That was a really bad year. We have Eric Garner, John Crawford, Mike Brown. We got Black Lives Matter out of that. Akai Gurley, Tamir Rice. 2015 was brutal. There was Walter Scott in South Carolina. There was Freddie Gray, okay? Then Dylan Proof, the white supremacist, came into Charleston, South Carolina at Emmanuel AME during Bible study and killed all of those blacks for no reason. We have Sandra Bland. Then we have Laquan McDonald, who was shot 16 times in 2014, all right? But the video was released in 2015. Then we have 2016. We got Alton Sterling. We also, the day after Alton Sterling was killed, there was Philando Castile in Minnesota. So what are these guys even talking about? Then these guys got into an argument about like, you know, I think the conversation between the debater and the young man was, when was America great? Okay? I'm not going to play that part of the clip, but I do want you to hear the Hodge twins' response.
A lot of people on the left like to frame this question. Yeah. When was his country great? Right. His country's always been great. He's hoping he's going to say back when slavery was alive. That's what he's hoping he's going to actually say. Yeah, this country's always been great, though. Yeah. There's been times when it's been greater. Yeah. But in the slave days, I don't think it was great.
Uh-oh.
That's so
you hear what's going on here. One of the twins says, well, you know, the country must not have been that great during slavery. Rightfully so, because he is half black. But watch what he says then.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You gotta say that. Yeah. You gotta say. But I mean, it's still the best country in the world. Even though back then when we had slavery, systemically racism, I mean, that was just part of society. I'm not saying that was society all over around the world. Yeah, I'm not saying that was great, but it wasn't stretch of the imagination. Yeah, it wasn't isolated just to this country. That was going on all over the world when that was going on here. Right. Even whites were slaves. Yeah.
He turns to say, you know what? Well, that was going on around the world. Even whites were slaves. Okay? He's trying to mask the blow. So now he's trying to say, well, you know what? That was the culture around the world. And even there were some whites that were slaves.
Boy, y'all sit your stupid ass
That's
down.
so slow. This is sad.
Okay, so what was the percentage of whites that were slaves in comparison to the blacks?
Hello.
Like, this is completely being disingenuous on purpose. And when somebody says
and
that
especially
these guys
in America, what are you
are
talking
pandering,
about?
this is exactly what that means, all right? And when you're a content creator and all you do is pander to the right, you become predictable. This is why guys don't like them, all right? Because not only are you guys, well, I won't get on how you sound. I'll leave that alone. Because you need to be white conservatives. Men, you guys are like...
I need to eat. My stomach is
but
growling.
anyways, you guys pander so hard that nobody finds you that interesting. That's the point. And again, there's no freedom of thought, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why there's no freedom of thought. The moment that you guys say something about white conservatives or white people in general, it's the end. See, the thing about somebody like Auburn Preach or somebody like me, we build our platforms being ourselves, and if people like it, they do. If they don't, it's okay. But we're going to express how we feel.
Or yeah, you can say something.
And our audience either likes it or dislikes it, but they come back. You have built your platforms based on pandering. And so because you guys don't want to really invest into what you're doing and to become better content creators, it's just easy to grift. And you guys are going wherever the money is. And that's why as content creators, nobody respects you. Not the whites, not anybody else. And the reason why these guys are worse off than we really thought is because they're really one comment away from making a bad joke, making a bad tweet, to getting canceled forever. Then it's back to being down bad. So
that's a great point because a lot of people don't respect them. Most black people who have common sense don't respect them, and even the white people that they're pandering to, although they like to hear these racist talking points, they don't respect you as a black person. They think that you're less than human. They think you're inferior. So you doing all this shucking and jogging for fucking biscuits and crumbs when they don't even fuck with you like that. Like, look at the tweet that they made to that one white man and was like, oh, will you accept any Negroes into your all white community? And he's like, I like what you're saying, you know, about how you shitting on black people, but no, we want to keep y'all Negroes far away from our all-white town. Fuck out of here, boy, you know, and they just eating that shit up and think it's hilarious. So, yeah, this is just really sad. I'm glad that people are opening their eyes to their shenanigans because this should definitely be called out. This is not cool. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all let me know what y'all think, though, and I'll see y'all in the next time. Bye!